Howdy, 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 my name is Anachi Sasuke, and welcome back to Let's Read Prequel. There's going to be the mouse click noises again, because I'm, again, recording this from my friend's apartment, because the power is out at my house because of the hurricane that didn't even really do that much to my neighborhood. But anyway, I wanted to do Prequel yesterday, but I couldn't because there's no power. So I'm doing it today, and I don't know how long I can record it for, because my friend's going to be home from work soon, and let's go. Happy Muffin wrote, "Hey Cotty, don't forget to check for oh good, you found one." Call One wrote, "Okay, so, let's admit you're a bit fucked, but not entirely fucked, so don't panic, maybe there's something you can do." You're not panicking? Yet, at least. Sure, this was unexpected, and you think you may have nearly lost your tail under the edge of that cage, but this doesn't necessarily mean the break-in failed and you're going to die painfully and horribly. At least not yet. There is still nobody around. Your cloak has a good amount of invisibility left. All you have to do is puzzle your way out of this trap, and you have plenty of ideas. But first, we just gotta boop. So I missed boop. Oh wow, the things are sold out. Akija wrote, "Quick, put the ghost spud in place of the bowling ball. It won't work, but it could." Radio wrote, "Put that yam on the pedestal. Maybe it'll reverse this vexing cage." Panic meter rising. You place the ash yam on the pedestal. Despite the weight being restored to the pressure plate, the cage does not retract back up. You aren't actually sure why you expected it to, but that was pretty much your best idea, and its failure increments your panic level by about 10%. Evil detecting dog wrote, "Slip through the bars. Cats are flexible, right?" First off, you're not a cat. Second, flexibility only helps you bend. When it comes time to fitting through tight spaces, all that matters are the thickest parts of your body, which is to say your head, hips, and chest. Well, okay, it's really more just your head and hips. It's your head. Vianator wrote, "Kadia, first of all, don't panic. Try to learn what that red thing can do. Maybe it can help you out of the trap. Come on, little kitten, I believe in you." Still not panicking? Did the red thing do something, or did it not? However, thinking about how justified it would be to panic right now pushes you a little closer to Horde's full-on panic. It's probably better to focus on solutions. You take a look at the... whoops, hold on. You stretch your arms and hold the old red orb away from you, squinting at it as best you can. From what you can tell, it's just a bowling ball. It has 3 holes, no ominously swirling auras inside, and weighs exactly as much as a bowling ball. It apparently only had 2 jobs, look important, and weigh down a pressure plate until some idiot decided to take it. In your defense, you didn't expect there to be a baited trap in an otherwise empty locked room inside a locked building. If this whole room is part of an elaborate trap, it probably means the incriminating looking chained door was even more bait, and this entire thing was designed specifically to catch people like you who wanted to take Sigrid down. So much for any hope of hiding your intentions. You can't even remember if you checked the 2nd floor before grabbing the rusty key and careening down here. Mr. Pineapple wrote, "Kadia, levitate the cage and slip away." Gamble wrote, "Examine the cage. Is it resistant to magic?" Thankfully, the cage seems to be made of regular steel, meaning it doesn't block your magic the way living things or silver seem to. Less thankfully, a steel cage still weighs hundreds and hundreds of pounds. You have no problem altering the gravity on a couple bars, panels, or rivets, but you can't seem to get a magical grip on the entire cage or lift it with the parts you can control. At most, you're reducing its weight by a 2-digit number, and even that may be giving your telekinesis a little too much credit. Mighty Anna wrote, "Hurl the bowling ball with your telekinesis. Set it on fire too for additional carnage." Yeet! Panic meter? It didn't seem to move? Somehow, coming face to face with the ineffectiveness of your skills is building your panic meter more than being stuck in the cage. Spirit 1299 wrote, "Use the lockpick to escape. Or, eat the ash yam to gain intelligence, and figure your way out of the cage." Jersh wrote, "Eat the yam and use his temporary super intelligence to find a way out." Chewing up a single alchemical ingredient outside of a properly mixed potion isn't going to give you super intelligence, even if the book said they were using that kind of potion. Best case scenario, tediously grinding the entire yam into a fine pulp with your very non-grinding Khajiit teeth will make you a tiny bit smarter for a couple of minutes and then it'll be gone, but you're running out of options And you need to get out of here before Sigrid finds you or the invisibility wears off. Maybe a little extra intelligence is what you need? Gulp. You don't feel any different, but you aren't sure what a minute gain of intelligence even feels like. Alright, think. You need an idea. Something brilliant, and some brilliant, intelligent idea that can get you out of here. Unclever title wrote, maybe grab something flat and stiff and make a lever with the bowling ball as a fulcrum? Panic meter, you're gonna die in a cage! Cider for the sad throw. Katia, panic! That sure is some panic. Meanwhile, Quillweave does the snooze. Does this go somewhere? Looks like it goes somewhere. Jerkonite wrote, use your panic field strength to bend open the bars! Did the lack of being able to do it make the panic go down? Okay, on the bright side, funneling all your panic into an attempt to bend the bars seems to have burnt the panic down to a manageable level. On a less bright side, it also seems to have done nothing to the bars, which remain as unbent as ever. You turn your attention back to escaping. Not to panic, but between the cloak's blindness curse and the looming possibility of Sigrid waking up and finding you, you're on more than one time limit right now. It's basically a race at this point to see what will fuck you over first. Rainrat wrote, try telekinesis to lift the cage, not the cage itself. But, there must be some chain attached to the top of the cage with some sort of weight, which they would need to raise the cage. If they knew about your telekinesis, they could have locked it somehow, but currently your ability is an unknown to them. Katora wrote, calm yourself down and take a moment and think like a witch hunter. Look around how the cage was held up. Is there a put system? Or some gears, maybe you can move them. As best you can tell, there isn't any sort of chain or rope attached to the top of the cage. The whole thing must have either been hidden in a ceiling compartment hundreds of feet above, or floating directly above the pillar while invisible. Given that you're in a mage's guild, the convoluted "it was magic" solution seems somehow more likely than the feat of engineering the alternative would take. Georgie wrote, is there something in the pedestal or under the pedestal? Move it, break it with the bowling ball. Gremlin wrote, Katia, try pushing over the pedestal itself. Hidden Passage 2.0 maybe? What? There's a crystal inside. Like you suspected, it's a soul gem and some burnt out rune type things. You know what magic enchantments are enough to understand that the gem was keeping a spell maintained, but not enough to know how it actually works, if the spell can be restored, or even if there's any energy left in the gem. Heck, you're not sure if restoring the spell would even lift the cage back up. It might be designed to levitate the cage, or it might be designed to hold something in place 20 feet above you. Even interpreting something like this is way over your level, let alone getting it to actually function. Overwatch Unit 042 wrote, told you to check out the crates first! Without any other real options, you take a look at the crates by the wall. You swear, next time you're going to look at all the insignificant background details before touching the clearly important thing. Although the crates themselves are too heavy to draw to the cage, you have no problem opening them and looking inside. Some of the stuff looks rather expensive. You find dozens of little alchemy mixing things, dozens of identical robes. Someone could equip and train an entire classroom full of mages with this stuff were it not packed away down in this oubliette. Oh hey, daggers! Alright, they're silver daggers. That little nuance of magic is never going to stop pissing you off. Zombie Insomniac wrote, pull that bag, and the big box over! Let's see what's in them. Diretooth wrote, if worst comes to worst, you can always wrap some sort of cloth around the bars and twist it till the bars bend. It's not a bag, it's a rolled up pelt. As for what's inside, it looks like it contains the rest of the pelt all rolled up. The leather straps around it look rather sturdy, however. You might be able to bend the cage bars if you wrap around a pair and twist. Or at least you could see that working for bars that aren't an inch thick and made of solid steel. The remaining two chests seem to be locked and are too heavy to pull. This box, though, contains a set of paints. Grim wrote, pro tip, you wait for Siggy and company to come down, let your cape recharge in the meantime, and escape when they check the empty cage. Josh wrote, let the cloak recharge! Don't want Sigrid to come when it runs out. Or she might come down while the cloak's recharging, which will leave you blind, completely visible, and at her mercy with no chance of escape or fighting back. As long as you can get these bars apart and escape before the cloak runs dry, you'll be fine. Heck, even if you only manage to get out of the cage, you can hide in a barrel or behind that wall while it recharges. If you're going to try to recharge the cloak, you really should have started as soon as you were trapped. The way you see it, the chances of Sigrid coming down and checking the trap get higher with every second, so losing a big chunk of time while blind is not going to be your advantage if you want to get out of here before you hear a latch click echo through the cavern. Oh no. Green and Echo wrote, "Hey, wait. You didn't close the trap door behind you, did you? You left it wide open. That click was the sound of the trap door being shut." Democracy wrote, "Make it look like the trap malfunctioned, 62%. Make it look like a thief ransacked the cave and got away, 21%. Uncloak so it can recharge, 12%. Barricade path, 5%. Lacose wrote, "Quick! Put everything back where it was, including the bowling ball. Sigrid is coming down here. She could simply assume that the soul gem powering the trap ran out of energy and needs to be replaced." Gorfail wrote, "Take the gem inside the pedestal." Faint wrote, "Put tacks pointy side up into the holes of the bowling ball." Vic Sa-Jen wrote, Katya, "It will make sense to stack those books in your imaginary inventory. It would free some imaginary space. It's not like you need to distinguish them, right?" Internet Catchphrase wrote, "Witchfinder logic." Quick, use a loop of the strap to snag a silver dagger and indirectly pull it towards you. Bob Bobinson wrote, "Quick, throw the paints off the edge before someone uses them to reveal your position." Cold Fusion wrote, "Cling to the ceiling! She's gonna sweep a broom around in there or something to see if it hits something invisible." Clinging to the top of the cage like this, you can't see who's coming, but you definitely hear heavy footsteps echoing through the otherwise silent cave. She legit managed to just do all of that. Wow. Hunt wrote, "You got some magic-y books about bridges. Maybe they work for teleportation. Try spell at random. Pretty much anywhere is better than here. This isn't just a piece of enchanted paper you can read to release a spell. This is a 300-page book explaining how to cast one. It would take you over an hour to read this in its entirety. You have about 19 minutes before the invisibility cloak blinds you, and probably less than 1 minute before the footsteps get down to you. Regardless, you flip through enough pages to determine that the book explains a summoning spell, not a teleportation one. All 6 books seem to be identical, and a large amount of pages are dedicated to explaining jargon, suggesting these were probably used for a classroom of magic students." The footsteps are getting louder. You stow the book back in your inventory before it can give you away. Anonymous wrote, "What about the 2 barrels? Look in them." Oh, right, you guess you skipped those. Acting fast, you quickly pop the lid off one of the barrels. It's full of water, and picking up water is apparently not within the scope of telekinesis. Without even trying, you assume the barrel is too heavy to telekinetically tip. The other one, though, that looks like imp gall. Yeah, no problem telekinetically picking up blobs of it before. If you're quick, you could probably grab a little bit to... Katya Mannequin! I see you found my lucky bowling ball, and I don't mean that facetiously. It actually has a minor luck enchantment. It gets a strike every time. Oh god, she's here. Also, why does she immediately know who it is? Collective wrote, "Shh! She's probably bluffing. Keep quiet until you know for certain that she can see you." Mick Degree wrote, "You better put your mask on or Sigrid will mind control you again." Random Thought 526 wrote, "Don't make any noises." She's just standing there, smiling. This is a tumbleweed. "You know," Sigrid says with a smirk, "she could just electrify the cage until you fall off it. It wouldn't be polite, but neither sneaking into someone's home in the dead of night." Rogue wrote, "Don't listen to a word this witch says, attack her! What are you waiting for?" Ethanicus wrote, "Scream!" Rizuki wrote, "Surprise fire blast!" Rusty F wrote, "Consider Eye of Fear." Virulent Bunny wrote, "Sue, give her a strike, she's the bowling ball pin now!" You're an Atronach? Sigrid lets out a wistful sigh. "Oh, how I wish I were so lucky, but no. I'm wearing 80,000 septims worth of spells and enchantments right now, all for the same covetable magic absorption you received through fortuitous star alignments at birth. Then again, it's a little funny if you think about it. There you are, with a gift of literally divine origin, and yet someone like me could just buy the same thing. Star signs, pyrokinetic powers, and even invisibility all seem a little passé when someone with the right equipment can just... Chosen One wrote, I feel like a boss battle is going to happen. Noisome wrote, throw the silver dagger at the goddamn witch already. Xerix wrote, throw the dagger at her! Again, Sigrid emphasized, she can see when you're getting ready to throw something, and you do know that had a sheath on it, right? You admit the sheath thing occurred to you pretty much right when it was leaving your hand, yes? You don't exactly operate well in stressful situations, and being trapped in a secret spiraling death oubliette by a creepy mind-controlling evil sorceress kinda qualifies as one! Evil sorceress? Katia Mannigan, your words wound me more than any dagger through the heart. I assure you, I'm no evil sorceress here to cause you harm. I have only your best interests in mind, along with mine and everyone else's. Is she going to do the sit in the chair backwards thing? Since I happen to have one over you, though, I just want to talk. Find out where we got off on the wrong foot and see if we can put things back to like how they should be. Just you and me, heart to heart, woman to woman. I'll even unsummon the tumble spider if he's making you uncomfortable. They like to stop bouncing and listen when there's talk. I was wondering where the freaking tumbleweed came from. It's like the tumble spider. It's just chilling. Bob wrote, spill the guts on her. Spider wrote, her mind control powers are scent-based. Block your nose with cilantro. You don't have those things anymore? Use them while breaking in. Right now your inventory is mostly clothes, keys, and books. Nothing that will help you in a tight situation. The bread you picked up contains the necessary alchemical reagents to let you temporarily see invisible things, and the tax and ball you threw are still within reach, but Sigrid is going to see anything you try. She's probably already getting suspicious since you're standing here thinking instead of replying to her. Holy Trauma wrote, Katia, imagine how much time you have left. Put a timer at the top of the screen. You've actually been imagining a timer up there for a while? You'd rather ignore it though, since you kind of have enough to panic about right now. Katia, just talk it out. Lazy Ninja wrote, is that a timer until the cloak wears off or until she kills you? Well, gee, it was supposed to be until the cloak wears off, but now you're pretty worried it might also mark the end of your life. At least right now, you can still try to dodge anything Sigrid throws at you, or at the very least see what she's doing. Once the cloak takes your eyesight, all you have to defend yourself with is words. But maybe that's not so bad. Maybe you can just talk your way out of this? Something Small wrote, just tell her that you only want the mail and nothing else. Diplomatic Stream wrote, just talk it out. You hold nothing to bargain with, so just try to talk. Look, you tell Sigrid, I'm sorry I broke into your secret death cave. I was looking for my stuff, but all the doors in the guild were locked, and then I found a key to that one that was all chained up, so I thought... My point is, bad decisions were made. I just want to get the package you stole from me last night, and I promise I'll be out of your hair forever. Sigrid's brow furrows with concern. Katia, you're speaking as if I robbed you. As I remember things, it was you who generously elected to donate some supplies to my guild hall, and I was greatly appreciative of your contribution, no matter how meager. And for some reason, you're now in here trying to steal it back, all while accusing me of theft. Generously elected to donate? You mind-controlled me! You put on your weird pheromone perfume and it made me think you were the greatest thing ever. If my perfume made you think more highly of me, Miss Mannigan, then I dare say it accomplished exactly what perfume is supposed to do. Why, if you're going to penalize me for being likable, I'm almost offended that you'd attribute it solely to some silly perfume rather than my good looks or winning charm. But you see, what I truly find concerning is how your perception of me could have shifted so suddenly and without warning. In nary a day, I feel like I've gone from your close friend to a bitter enemy. Well, yeah, my perception of you kind of tanked when I realized you mind-controlled me! Sigrid's voice takes on a faint tone of remorse. I am deeply sorry if I somehow made you feel this way, Katia, and for all the stress it has clearly caused you. If I may ask, were these perceptions triggered by something I said? Something you thought about after we parted ways? Maybe even something you ate or drank, after which you suddenly found yourself thinking... Draken wrote, your greatest power is that you will not fall for her charisma crap, not to mention the countless personalities in your head. Wait. This isn't some kind of gloaty villain speech. You're trying to figure out how I threw off your control. And you're still speaking as though I'm some sort of monster out to do you harm. What I'm interested in, Kadia, is simply constructive criticism. For you to say those horrible things about me, break into my home, and go snooping into my perfectly inconspicuous storage rooms implies to me that I clearly wasn't the friend to you I thought I was. If I'm to avoid these situations in the future, I need to know exactly what caused these negative feelings to emerge. With the number of friends I have, you're certainly not the first I've had quibbles like this with, but I'm a quick learner. I've become much more careful when choosing my words and accessories, enough that I can usually keep this sort of situation from happening. Or lasting. Everyone I know is happy to be my friend, and I enjoy being their friend in turn. Is it truly so wrong to care about others' happiness, Kadia? Maybe, if you think so, maybe you're... Holy shit, Sigrid! You're an evil mind control wizard! You can't just turn around and make me the bad guy here! Nobody's a bad guy here, Miss Mannequin. We're simply two people discussing our problems, and the sooner we figure out where things went wrong, what would drive you to steal back the donations you made to your favorite guild hall, the sooner we can carry on as if none of this ever happened. Thought or whatever wrote, "Quick, set fire to all her shit while she distracted bin her in the back of the head while with he bowling ball." Probably supposed to say bean her in the back of the head. If you don't mind my saying, you're not the most intimidating person I've had in that cage. Stephane, for one, knew a distressing battery of combat magic, and that was before I started wearing the absorption spells. I am confident that with the right words, we can come to a peaceful solution that we're both happy with. And I should remind you, it's not as if you have any other choice. She legit just asked you for the book back. You could have just said yeah instead of being a bitch. Kadia, go back to violence. Kaji Assassin wrote, "Use the sharp bowling ball to stab the witch from the back." Sharp bowling ball? When did the bowling ball shatter? Logic, he wrote, "She said there's no other choice, therefore there must be another choice." You could understand that logic if you had been the one insisting there's no other choice, but most people are automatically wrong about everything, and as much as you hate to admit it, the situation really is feeling more hopeless by the second. Of course you're not going to let Sigrid know that. You're going to be an obstinate dickbag and keep trying to escape just to spite her. Castle Runner wrote, "She wants to play games? Let's play. From now on, you answer all of her questions with another question. Maybe if you push her far enough, Stephane's plan for Sigrid to realize her heroic nature will come to fruition. Or it could just be fun to see Sigrid getting mad for once." Anon wrote, "Just sell out Stephane in exchange for your stuff and freedom." So you want to know how I broke through your evil jerk-face mind control? Why don't you ask some of the other people in town who did it? You know about all of them, right? Let me guess, Sigrid says. You're talking about Stephane. He didn't break through my control as you so dramatically phrased it. Except he totally did. He was the one who told me all about the bug musket enchantments, and he even helped me plan this burglary, just to take your ego down a peg. And again, let me guess, this was justified with some spiel about me being a magical hero chosen by the gods? After some additional consideration, you admit to Sigrid that Stephane may have not broken her control, but what then? You mind controlled him into believing a bunch of fairy tales so he'd like you and then help me lure people into your dumb trap? First off, this trap isn't dumb, it's fantastic! Thieves always go for the ominous altar, and I think we can both agree that the big cage is more artful than a cheap paralysis rune. Second, I never mind-controlled your dear friend into believing anything. He happened to have an affinity for old heroic lore, and once we got talking and I discovered this, I found a way we could bond over it, and coexist on better terms. That's just what people do, and yes, I had to wear some extra nice perfume to get him to even sit down and civilly talk to me at first, but I'm hardly a villain for wanting to open a dialogue. If anything, sharing his interest with genuine enthusiasm is simply being a good friend. And just look where that gets people. Did our mutual friend even mention this trap to you? I'm half willing to bet he's so ashamed about his behavior in our initial meeting that he's willed himself into forgetting the embarrassing little details. Oh my fucking gods, you erased his memories? Sigrid sighs. I didn't do anything, Miss Mannequin. There you go again, spending me as some sort of evil mastermind for things other people did because your creepy alchemy made them love you. Like, why the fuck do you think you should get to control what everyone thinks? Honestly, Kadia, because people suck. What? Because people are terrible. Do I really have to spell it out? As much as you all love to talk about right and wrong, every person seems to have their own idea of what that is, and surprise, surprise, it's always whatever feeds their desires. The clergyman wants more people reading his fan fiction, the shopkeeper wants there to be lower taxes, and the little Kashi wizard wants everyone to treat her like she matters. The evil these people decry is whatever happens to be inconveniencing them at that moment, and the good they praise is whatever licks their shiny boots. They're animals, Katia, selfish, short-sighted animals, and what? You think you're somehow better than everyone else? No, Katia, that's the thing. I'm not better than them, I'm better at it than them. Deep down, I'm just as awful and conceited as everyone else. The things I want aren't fair to everyone. I cause problems for people I don't care about, and I do it all while fully convinced that I'm right about everything. Is that what you want? An admission of human fallibility? Because I'm no moral paragon, I'm just quite good at getting what I want. I didn't decide the unfair way the world works, I'm just exceptionally good at working within it. When it comes down to it, what you hate me for is competence. The fact that in a world full of self-serving animals, I'm the one doing it best. It's jealousy, really. You wish you had the power I did, and if our roles were switched, I guarantee you'd have someone else in this cage calling you a... I wouldn't have a cage! Like, I'd have this big empty ritual chamber and turn it into an indoor pool with a crystal-themed juice bar or something. The fact that 2/3 of your house are dedicated to a giant trap is a sign that you are a crazy, evil person who shouldn't be controlling what people think. And just what are good and evil here, Katia? Would I be good for letting people follow their every short-sighted desire, even at the expense of others? Or if I were as apathetic towards the world as the gods that created it, you, of everyone, should understand that someone left to their own devices doesn't always get what they want. Maybe things would be different for you if you had a friend who was willing to be more involved, perhaps able to get you to listen to them. Well, gee, fuck you too, Sigrid. Maybe the reason I could resist your control is because I'm so goddamn resistant to good advice. We can work on that. Together, I think we can find a good, reliable way to get my helpful advice through to you, just like everyone else, leaving no animosity and distrust between us. Macho Fish wrote, "Can you ask Sigrid to drop the condescending I'm really your friend act? You're alone. It's not like she's playing to an audience. It's clear you're not buying her act. Let's put it this way. It takes more than cat-like flexibility for someone to shove their head that far up their ass." Jeff wrote, "I am beginning to think that she isn't even joking and is just crazy enough to think that her actions are justified." You open your mouth to speak but hesitate. This isn't an act. At this point, it's starting to look pretty clear that Sigrid is just completely insane. She's not going to let you out of this cage until she's thoroughly interrogated you on how you broke her mind control, and then it sounds like she's just going to send you away with some kind of mind control you can't break, and probably robbed since you're wearing a 200 septum cloak and she's a jerk. But she also loves to talk. Assuming she doesn't get tired of your antics and drop a rock on you, you might be able to stall her long enough to come up with an escape plan. Maybe you can find a loose bar in the cage, or rip up her enchanted clothes if she gets too close, or... Cthulhu wrote, "So you telekinesis things by reassigning their magical properties, specifically gravity, to where your eye is looking. Is there a way to use that same concept, but more offensively? Like, say, reassigning the spell absorption capabilities of her clothes in order to neutralize, dare I say, dispel their effect." Renan wrote, "Construct a new spell! Teleportation! While changing your position in the world would risk you in some way appearing above ground or inside it, you should exchange your position with something or someone else. Or maybe if magic is so dependent on emotions, try to connect your current anger and hurt with the one you felt when you were mind controlled to get out of the Mages Guild. Or maybe there's a magical solution. She may be resistant to your fireballs and apathetic towards your telekinesis, but you're still a wizard capable of manipulating magicka. If you can find some way to get yourself past the bars, or try to negate Sigrid's resistance spells, or even get a message outside, you might have a shot at escaping. It's like that saying, desperation is the mother of learning, you think it was? You're pretty sure you got it wrong. What you mean is, you're out of ideas, so you need to buy time while you frantically figure out how to pull off some incredibly complex magic, or else you're fucked. Paper Cool Cat and a lot of others wrote, "Maybe take off the hood while you talk. She doesn't really seem like she wants to kill you." Super Fighting EXE wrote, "Just take off your hood and keep the conversation going. Don't let her catch on to the blindness effect or time limit. Lean against the side of the cage, close your eyes, and tilt your head up. Give her the impression you're willing to talk with her, but very begrudgingly." Groudon466 wrote, start thinking of a long, winding story to tell when your visibility runs out. That way you can waste time until your sight comes back. Miner wrote, I can't think of anything to do here. You've eaten that yam thing. The spell books are complicated, and don't actually contain a spell that's useful. The bowling ball as a weapon can be seen from miles away, and it's too heavy to be used accurately anyway. I'd say it, but you're kind of at her mercy here. Only thing I can think of, since she can see you through that cloak anyway, is to take it off and try to talk with her while focusing on listening and talking your way out. Preferable to start the recharge countdown now if you think you'll be here for more than 15 minutes, then add an additional 75 minutes to your ability to see time while waiting now. I think. There's nothing around here that can help you right now, and the only way you're getting out of here is if she lets you at this point. And if you're gonna just be talking and thinking. You tell Sigrid, alright, if you're gonna explain how you broke through her mind control, you need to share some context. While it might sound long-winded and arbitrary, you assure her that everything you're about to say is incredibly important. The first thing you have to tell her is the story of, the littlest dog. You hope this isn't suspicious. Kadia, tell a story. What is it, a flash? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to stop there. So, in the next episode, Kadia's gonna tell a story. It is currently February the 6th, 2018 as of this page coming out. But an update came out a couple weeks ago, so it's still happening. In any case, this has been Anachi Sasuke. This was episode 20-something of Let's Read Prequel. If you liked it, a like and a subscribe will be groovy. If you didn't, you don't need to do either one of those things. If you want to click the bell, you can do that as well, so that you're notified of future uploads. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Later.